Hello girls, good morning everyone. So today's sixth class on the topic Eurochordata, that is tunicata. Already we discussed in the last video. Okay, I think you have understood about the Eurochordata what I have explained in the last video. I think you have all watched my video. Okay, so here yesterday I told you that I will explain about the larval characters and adult characters of Eurochordata, right? So that we are going to discuss now. Okay, why we are discussing in these two heads like larval characters and adult characters? Because already we discussed why we are discussing the two heads. Okay, so here is the larval characters of Eurochordata. Okay, can you see? So this is the larval characters of Eurochordata. Elongated larva of Eurochordata is known as Ascidian tadpole larva. Okay, so the Eurochordate in development involves larval stage. Okay, so if the larval stages are present, then they can we can say the development is indirect. Okay, so here like human beings, if you take the example human beings will give direct birth to child, right? Without any larval stage they give direct birth to the child, no? So that we call direct development. Okay, so here there is a larval stages. That means after laying eggs, the organisms, the eggs will be hatched into larva, and that larva through metamorphosis it will become into adult. Okay, so if there is any larval stages, then we can say the development will be indirect. Okay, because the development doesn't take place directly, no? So here through larval stages the adult stage will be attaining. So that's why indirect development. So here elongated larva of Eurochordata is known as what? Ascidian tadpole larva. What the larval name of Eurochordata? Ascidian tadpole. Why we call tadpole? Actually we call this tadpole name for the frog larva, right? So the frog's larva is called tadpole. Why we are calling the tadpole larva in Eurochardates? Because the Ascidian tadpole looks like a frog somewhat. So that's why we call Ascidian tadpole larva. Okay. So here the adults emerges from larva by the process of metamorphosis. I said metamorphosis. Meta means after, morphosis means changes. Okay. So metamorphosis means changes. Okay. After hatching into larva, eggs hatched into larva, the larva undergo changes to become adult. So that we call metamorphosis. Okay. So like that the adults emerges from the larva by the process of metamorphosis. Okay. So here again notochord restricted at the caudal end, hence the name Eurochordata. This point we discussed in the previous video. Okay, the Eurochordates, why we call Eurochordata name? The notochord restricted at the caudal, that means tail end, hence name Eurochordata. Next point, dorsal hollow nerve cord spreads end to end. Okay, so like that the dorsal hollow nerve cord also spreads end to end. Later, pharyngeal gill slits are also present. Okay, this is everything we have discussed in the previous class. So if you don't know, please do watching my video. Okay, previous videos. So gill slits are the respiratory organs. Okay, that present either side of the pharynx, so called pharyngeal gill slits. Okay, so highly active post-anal tail is prominent. Okay, it will be consisting the post-anal tail. So all these chordate characters will be present in the Eurochordata, except that chord will be present only in the larval stage but absent in adult stage. Okay. So next coming to the adult characters. So if we discuss about the adult characters, the body of the adult is covered by a tunic. Okay, this is also we discussed in the previous class about Eurochordata organisms. Their body will be covered by a layer called tunic. Okay, this tunic is made up of protein called tunicine. Okay, so hence name tunicates. So that's why Eurychordates also called as tunicates. So the tunic is composed of a protein, tunicine, and a polysaccharide similar to that of plant cellulose. Okay, so plant cellulose, due to the presence of cellulose, the plant stem is very strong now. So like that the strong layer will be present around the body of Eurochordates. That is called tunic, because that layer is made up of tunicine protein. Okay. Next character of the adults. Adults are sessile. That means they can't move. Okay. So adults are sessile and attached to the substratum of the sea. Okay, they have attached to the substratum. That means it might be any ocean layer or rocks. Okay, any other molluscans body. Okay, so something to which it is attaching, that we call substratum. Okay, so adults are sessile and attached to the substratum of the sea. So here the organisms actually consisting incurrent and excurrent siphons. I said you previous this also. Incurrent branchial siphon and excurrent atrial siphon form entrance and exit portals for the water that circulates through the body. Okay, so the body of the urochordate consisting incurrent canals and excurrent canals. Okay, so through that the water will be enter inside and go outside. They acts like a exit and entrance portals. So next character, if we discuss about the adult urochordates, they have tiny finger-like sensory tentacles. Okay, tiny finger-like tentacles. Okay, so the tentacles function is sensory. Okay, sensory action. So the tiny finger-like sensory tentacles encircles the siphon to examine the incoming water and prevent large particles from entering. Okay, so these tentacles will only present around the incurrent canals, because whatever getting inside, that will be checked by the tentacles. Okay, that will be not essential for the excurrent siphons. These are hermaphrodite animals. Okay, so hermaphrodite animals, why we call hermaphrodites? Hermaphrodite means both the sex organs will be present in single animal, so that's why we call hermaphrodite animals. Okay, so these urochordates can reproduce sexually and as well as asexually. Sexually means the fusion of male and female gametes. Asexually means they undergo like a fission, binary fission. Okay, like that. Next, if we see the classification, simple classification of urochordate, the subphylum urochordate is divided into 3 classes. Okay, so first class Acidiaceae, second class Thalassaceae, and third class Larvaceae. Okay, so Acidiaceae, actually this Acidiaceae class includes the organisms like Acidia, Ciona, Headmania. Okay, so these acidian organisms actually brightly colored and lives in marine water. Okay, next Thalassaceae class includes the organisms like Salpa and Doliolum. These Thalassaceae organisms are freely living. Okay, and next last class in the urochordata phylum is Larvaceae. Okay, so these are they are marine, that means they are live in marine water. Marine means salt water. Okay, so they are tiny marine planktonic urochordates. Larvaceae received their name because the adults retain larval characters similar in some way to the Ascidian tadpole with its tail and trunk. Okay, so it will be resembled to the Ascidian tadpole in some way. Okay, so the general resemblance of adult Larvaceae to Ascidian tadpole suggests that Larvaceae may be neotenous form. Okay, neotenous form. Neoteny means what? Retaining the larval characters. Okay, actually losing the larval characters, larvae have to attain an adult stage, but here the larval characters doesn't go away, that retain the larval characters and become the adult. That process we call neoteny. Okay, so example we can give for the Larvaceae is Oikopleura. I think you have all understood this. Thank you.